The raker is pressurized into place. We need to finish nailing our bottom gusset on the collection point or the joint of the raker and the sole plate. So remember that that's going to get 8 nails into the sole plate on each side of that gusset. The second consideration is whether or not our raker requires a midpoint brace. So the rule for 4x4 rakers is if the raker length itself exceeds 11 feet, it requires a midpoint brace. That number also correlates to any insertion point that's greater than 8 feet. So as soon as the insertion point is greater than 8, the raker length is going to be greater than 11. We need to cut two 2x6s that go from the joint of the wall plate and the sole plate and extend up to the midpoint of the raker. So pull your measurement on your raker, find that midpoint, then pull a measurement for your 2x6 dimensional timber. We like to cut arrowhead cuts on the end of it so that we can have as much nail pattern space as possible on each of those dimensional elements. Make sure that you don't drive those nails at the sole and wall plate junction into the gusset only and miss the 4x4 material of the wall plate or the sole. It's also important to note that those 5 nails down in that joint do not have to be 5 in the wall and 5 in the sole. It's just 5 nails into that joint. We're also putting 5 nails up into the raker itself. This carries throughout our dimensional bracing or diagonal bracing, as well as our cross bracing from raker to raker as well. So if we have a midpoint brace on a single rake, then when we build that secondary raker, our cross brace is going to require a midpoint brace. So we're going to end up with 2 bays for diagonal and X bracing if necessary, as opposed to 1 single bay. So remember those basic rules. Anything less than 8 feet, you're going to be dealing with 1 bay predominantly on 4x4 rakers. Anything greater than 8 feet for insertion point, you're going to be dealing with a midpoint, resulting in multiple bays.